What's going on, guys? It's Luke here. This is going to be a weekly outlook for the week coming up from November 3rd to the 7th, 2025. Today I'm recording this on Saturday, so if anything changes with the news, I'll update you guys on TikTok. So if you guys want to follow my TikTok, it's in the pinned comment, as well as the link for the Discord for daily pre-market analysis, voice chat, live trading coming soon, all that stuff in there. Links in the pinned comment. And if you guys need a sign-up discount link to Alpha Futures, it's default 10%. Link is in the pinned comment as well. So let's get right into this. We're going to run through NQ. Then we're going to show what I have marked out on ES, and then we're going to go through the news, and I'll tell you guys how I'm approaching every single day from what we have so far. So starting on the monthly candle, we obviously had a strong monthly candle close on the October candle. As you can see, still in extreme bullish order flow on the monthly. We had a strong bullish close on NQ and on ES. Moving down to the weekly, we had obviously last week, or at the start of this past week, we had that new week opening gap, which is a crazy gap up. We're still in continued bullish order flow. We did have a weekly bullish close on the weekly candle, and on the weekly, what I have basically marked out is the previous week's high, which is also the all-time high. We have the previous week's low. We have the end of the new week opening gap. NQ did briefly at the start of the week tap into the gap and then react from there. So it briefly tapped into it, but I have the end of the gap marked off just because I do feel like eventually the whole gap is going to get filled. I also have this new weekly fair value gap marked out right here. And then I just had this extra daily low down here as another sell side target. So those are the main areas that I have on NQ. On top of that, we also have this SMT on the lower time frame. As you can see, again, we had this shift, this higher low right here. And as you're going to see on ES, we obviously dipped a lot deeper into that new week opening gap, and we ended up making a lower low. So on ES, it's pretty much the same exact scenario. Strong monthly close on the monthly candle. On the weekly, again, we had that same gap up. We have previous week's high marked out, previous week's low. We have the end of the new week opening gap. We have this weekly fair value gap right here, and then we have this daily low. And again, we do have that SMT. As you can see, ES later in on the week and Friday ended up dipping into that new week opening gap. We ended up sweeping out this low over here, putting in a bullish SMT off the lows. And even though it did tap into that new week opening gap, it still has not filled it in fully. So this is something to watch out for. So we're going to run back to NQ, and then we're going to run through the analysis really quick and the scenarios that I'm looking at, and then we're going to just run through the news really quick. So again, we're in bullish order flow on all the time frames. So again, we're going to continue to trade with the trend. On the daily, we actually did have this small daily inversion right here, but then we ended up recovering really nice from it. So I'm really kind of disregarding that inversion. We also reacted out of this daily bullish gap from right here. We had a nice reaction out of that. I just didn't have that marked out, but we also had a nice reaction off of that. So again, daily bullish order flow, everything's being continued to the upside. Everything is looking continuously bullish. We do have that bullish SMT on the lower time frames right now. So scenario number one, again, is obviously going to be just the continuation higher. So we could easily just see this price continue higher and continue to put in new highs and new lows, and then we would just use our overnight targets or overnight highs as our targets, right? So we're going to continue to trade with the trend for the most part. That's what I'll be favoring. But again, price discovery, moving, making new highs, making new lows, and then using those overnight draws to target to make a new high, basically. And that's going to be the main thing coming in on the higher time frame. Once that structure shifted from bullish to bearish in the higher time frame, only then will my bias shift bearish on the higher time frame. So scenario number one, we move into price discovery, we continue to make new highs, new lows, and we use overnight levels like overnight session highs as our targets. For the bearish scenario, if we come back down, or not bearish scenario, but if we get a nice retrace into this new week opening gap, into this daily or this weekly fair value gap, we get a nice reaction out of there. That could be a nice scenario as well that would play out. I do feel like that's going to want to get rebalanced sooner than later. So we could see that price move down, move us into this weekly fair value gap, take out the previous week's low, rebalance this on the higher time frame, and then just have a continuation to the upside. And in case for a higher time frame bearish scenario, if we do invert this weekly gap and we have a retrace in, we're going to be looking to seek out all this higher time frame sell side. I don't really have any of it marked out, but on the higher time frame, we have again this daily low, this weekly low, all this stuff down here, and then on the monthly, obviously all the way down here, we have this monthly gap, but that's kind of looking too far ahead right now. But we do have higher time frame sell side liquidity down there that we can target if we do get that weekly inversion. So scenario number one, again, we see just a continuation into price discovery. We continue to make new highs and new lows off this lower time frame S&T, and we just use overnight draws as our targets for draws on liquidity to the upside. Scenario number 2, we have a nice retrace back into this weekly fair value gap. We come back, we rebalance the new week opening gap, we take out the previous week's low, we get a nice recovery, shift in order flow, and we continue back to the upside. We rebalance the higher time frame, and we just continue to the upside from there. And the bearish scenario, if we do start to inverse these higher time frame gaps, this daily, this weekly, then only then will I shift bearish on the higher time frame, and that's when we can start seeking out, these higher time frame draws all the way down here. Obviously, coming into the day, every single day is going to be different. We're not just necessarily going to be looking for longs, but just looking at the higher time frame, that's kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at bullish until the trend flips and it's confirmed to flip. I'm favoring that we do get a retrace back in and rebalance this weekly gap to some degree, and then we get a continuation back up. That would be the cleanest or the most ideal, but we'll have to see coming into the week. Again, just make sure you have these areas marked out on your charts, and make sure you're aware of this S&T and have the end of the new week opening gap, because again, these new week opening gaps do like to get filled fully. So just something to keep an eye on. Now we're going to run through the news really quick and see how we're going to be approaching everything day by day. Starting on Monday, we have ISM manufacturing PMI, so we actually don't have a no news Monday. So red folder at 10. Again, the way I'm going to be doing this is waiting for the news to pass, seeing how the market reacts, and then we'll go from there. But this will be a normal trading day for the most part. Tuesday, we have JOLTS job openings, but right now it is listed as tentative, so we're going to have to wait and see when this is coming out. Normally, it does come out at 10, but we're going to have to wait and see when that comes out, wait for that news to get released, and then we'll go from there. Again, I'll provide any updates on my TikTok, but right now this will be a normal trading day. JOLTS job openings brings good volatility in the market. We're just going to wait for that news to come out and then react from there, and if there's any changes, we'll adjust from there. On Wednesday, we have ISM Services PMI at 10, and then at 8:15, we also have ADP non-farm employment change. Again, this will be a normal trading day. We're going to wait for this 10 a.m. news to pass, see what happens in the market, and then we're going to go from there. Thursday, we have unemployment claims at 8, it's tentative, and then we have at FOMC member Waller speaking at 3:30. So again, this is tentative. We're going to have to see what time it comes out, and then we'll go from there. But this will be a normal trading day. Again, we have red folders all week, so this should be a solid week in the market. And then on Friday, we have NFP, which is back, and then we have some orange folder here at 10. We also have unemployment rate and all that stuff here. So this should be a solid day. We just got to wait for that news to pass, and then we just got to readjust from there. So Monday to Friday will be normal trading days, but we're just going to be waiting for the news to come out, and then we're going to make our reactions from there, and then look for trades from there. This Friday is a little bit hectic, so really want to see when this is coming out on Friday. We're going to have to be a little bit more cautious. I'll probably be de-risking on the Friday, but Thursday looks solid. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, all look solid to me, so I'll be on the markets every day this week. That's going to wrap it up from you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until the next one, give me a like, subscribe, follow me on all my socials, and check out the links in the pinned comment, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.